taken quite a long time for medical professionals to get to grips with long COVID. How clear was it that that's what it was? And have you had it explained to you what is going on with your body that's making this happen?
No, I haven't. And in fact, the 3 times I went into A&E, I was turned away saying that I had anxiety and that I was thinking wrong, which is the same experience for a lot of people with long COVID. And that's pretty tough to deal with. I mean, since then, I've actually been diagnosed with myocarditis, heart inflammation, like heart damage. So there really was something going on back then, but they just didn't have the test to be able to tell me what it was.
And so you were obviously, as you said, fit and healthy. The message today is to people to get the vaccine. Presumably you couldn't have had, the vaccine wasn't even available actually when you got COVID, was it? So you're in a very different position. But what would I know that you're now part of a community of people who've suffered from it. So what is your message?
Well, I think, for young people, I think you're either going to have to get the vaccine or you're probably going to get COVID at this rate. Like, that's the reality. And when you look at the long-term effects of COVID, they are very significant. I mean, there's like 400,000 people with symptoms over a year. And long COVID happens to young people as much as old people. And I just wouldn't want anyone to go through the hell that I've been through for the last year. And I think young people think there are 2 options. You get COVID and you either make it or you don't. And the data says that young people will probably be fine. But people aren't really discussing this third option where you're left with the chronic illnesses. And I think young people need to know, like, it's a very serious possibility.
So now you've been diagnosed with the myocarditis, so that very specific heart issue. Is that now the limit of the issues for you? Do you still have other things going on?
I still have neurological issues. I have issues with my memory, just day-to-day, like function at job. My job is pretty difficult. I'm one of the lucky ones. Like, I am getting better, even at month 11. But I know a lot of people who are at month 17 and are not recovering. I personally have a friend who's, she's a doctor, 27 years old. She hasn't been able to work or function properly for 17 months now.
So there's no, you're sort of in uncharted territory with something like this, obviously.
I mean, it's desperate because there aren't really any answers, and it's going to be years before clinical trials and research is published. And so patients are really taking it on themselves to figure it out. And we do see some strong signals that maybe some drugs are working. But there's quite a bit of reluctance from doctors and the NHS. They're playing it very safe. And I just don't think they're taking this illness seriously or understand quite how debilitating it can be, not be able to work, or, some people have breathing issues, like heart issues, neurological issues for months on end. It's brutal.
And one of the people who's involved in this campaign talking about long COVID said that simple things, something silly, she says, like brushing your hair, can become quite emotionally traumatizing. Would you identify with that?
Absolutely. I think the neurological stuff is probably some of the scariest, and it's tough to deal with when there are just no answers. And I think one of the scariest aspects of long COVID is we just don't know what the long-term effects are.
Thank you very much for joining us. I hope you continue to get better, Harry. Thank you.
Thank you.